Hello, my name's Ian Eagleton and I am the author of Glitter Boy and The Boy Who Cried Ghost. I'm so excited to be taking part in Empathy Action Month with you, and I'd love to read a little extract for you from my new book, The Boy Who Cried Ghost. Now, just before this moment, Richard's new stepdad, Tony, has opened the wardrobe door, which all sounds absolutely fine, but there is a ghost in the wardrobe and Richard has been trying to keep this ghost at bay, trapped for as long as he can. Tony thinks he's helping and says, "Come on, it will all be fine, let's face your fears and open the wardrobe," but in doing so he releases the ghost. This leads to Richard having quite a severe panic attack. And this is the moment where we find Richard and Tony in the garden together. And really it's the first time that Tony has shown empathy towards Richard. Up until this point, he's been trying to have a joke and a laugh with him. He hasn't really known how to connect with Richard. They've been talking at cross purposes. And this is the first time in the story where Tony finally is able to connect with Richard and show him empathy. Tony nervously took his hand. "Come on, Richie, come on, breathe. Your mum will be home soon," Tony said over and over again, perhaps more to reassure himself than Richard. Is this all to do with the wardrobe, matey? There was Richard tried to say, but it was all too much. Everything hurt and the garden seemed to spin. "It's okay, buddy, it's okay. There's nothing in there." "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I was trying to. It should have made you better. I shouldn't have." Tony paused for a beat before continuing. "I like the garden. Spent a lot of time here when I was a kid. Needs a bit of looking after now, I think, don't you? I've been mowing the grass. Needed it, really needed it. My dad used to love his garden. Was always out there, come rain or shine." Richard's breathing began to slow down. "He used to mow the grass twice a week. We used to laugh and say he measured it with a ruler. He liked it all to be perfect, you see, my dad, because we all spent so much time in his garden. My brother, Richard felt him stop swaying as he listened to Tony. He felt grounded. Well, he's got 2 little girls and we would sit all out in the garden. It was beautiful. My dad loved them so much. They'd splash in the paddling pool in the summer and we'd watch them play. The dogs would trot up and down, barking at the birds and chasing the butterflies." Richard looked at the leaves and the grass and the bushes. The pain in his chest began to subside. I didn't know where to go when he died," Tony was saying while he watched Richard. "So I spent all my time in his garden. It was like he was there in the sunshine, in the plants and flowers, watching over me." Richard felt his focus return and he looked at Tony. "So it's nice to have another garden to look after. I don't have a garden at my flat. It's nice to help your mum out. And this place seems pretty magical, doesn't it? You know, one of those wild, strange gardens. And the tree house. That's so cool, isn't it, Richie? We need to sort that out. It's a right state. Maybe we should. I'm okay," Richard whispered. "I'm okay. I'm here. I'm back." It's really interesting to me, looking back and reading that, what Tony is doing to show empathy towards Richard and what he's not doing as well. He stops making jokes, he stops mucking around, he really stops and listens to Richard and thinks about what he needs. And by sharing something of himself, Tony's grief, he is able to connect with Richard and calm him down and bring him back round from his panic attack. Wonder what else you can think of that Tony does to show empathy in this extract. Have a fantastic Empathy Action Month and take care. Bye.